Thank you very much indeed, Lino. Can I first also acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional country of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains, and can I pay respect to elders past and present, and can I thank Doug for the welcome to country, and Diane for your warm welcome. Lino, thank you again for your kind words. Can I acknowledge Peter Clark, Director of International Education Office, the whole team from Immigration SA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I will say ni hao, I'll say namaste, salamat sore, bonjour, buongiorno, buenas tardes, and I'm sure I've missed half of your languages, I apologise. Everybody, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here, and it's always a great honour. I always look forward to this occasion. And can I welcome Sergio and Brian, also from Adelaide City Council, who I know are going to be chatting with you later. So, on behalf of my council, which forms, I'm one of 12 people, I'm the Lord Mayor, there are 11 other councillors, can I say welcome. It's a great honour to have you here in Adelaide, great honour to have you here in South Australia. And I'll share my own brief story, because we've all got an immigration story. That's the wonderful thing about Australia, certainly in more recent times. And we do have this incredible heritage of 60,000 plus years of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. But in more recent times, we've all got an immigration story. So my mother was born in Medan in Indonesia. My grandfather was born in Germany. My wife was born in Singapore. So in so many ways, I was born here. I'm the odd one out. But in so many ways that everyone's got an immigration story in Australia. And you'll find that. As you meet and you mingle and you make friends and you move amongst new circles, you'll find that everyone's got a great immigration story in Australia. And as Lino was saying, indeed, that's what makes our country. In so many ways, its diversity is so truly its strength. And I'll share with you about the idea upon which more modern Adelaide was built. Because South Australia, in fact, was the consequence of a British Act of Parliament in 1834 called the Reform Act. The Reform Act, in its time, was actually incredibly progressive, because it was all about a community and a state and a city which was built on religious freedom, free trade, and free settlement. And in Australian historical terms, that was utterly unique. And in so many ways, and you'll grow to learn this, in so many ways that characterises the DNA of South Australia. We've got a certain DNA which I think is unique. We've got a certain culture which is unique. And I had the great fortune only last week of speaking at a conference in Singapore. I spoke at the World Cities Summit, which is a large gathering of mayors and premiers and many leaders from around the world. And I had the great honour of speaking about the culture of Adelaide. And I was talking about, in many ways, the great heritage that we've built upon, the successive waves of migration which have defined Adelaide and South Australia. I spoke about religious freedom, free trade, really a city and a state of opportunity. And I think in so many ways, even in today's 2018 contemporary language, that is as true today as it was way back then, because culturally it's a very wonderful place. It's climatically, it's very windy today, but it is it's a wonderful place. And I think its greatest asset is its strength of community. And I was sharing at this discussion last week in Singapore in front of a large audience. That it's not necessarily the buildings that define a city, it's not the infrastructure that defines a city, although that's all important because that helps us get around. It's not the transport. The thing that actually defines a city, the thing that defines Adelaide, is the community of Adelaide, is the community of South Australia. That is our greatest asset. That is our greatest asset, is indeed our community and our people. And those values, I guess, upon which we were founded are as equally important today, because we want Adelaide to be a place of opportunity. We want this to be a place of opportunity for you, for your families, for your children, for your children's children. That's why these values, I think, are so important. It's a deeply livable city. As Lino shared, we're the 5th most livable city in the world, and that's a great accolade. And that's not something we conferred upon ourselves, that was something that The Economist conferred upon us. And they have a metrics by which they measure all the cities around the world, and we're number 5. And that's terrific, I must say. And Australian and Canadian cities do especially well when it comes to the livability stakes around the world. And that's something we're very proud of. But we also want to make sure that we are a place of opportunity for you and for everybody. And City Council works very closely with the State Government of South Australia. We always have. And City Council also works very closely with its local community. One of the things that we've been doing to enhance the competitiveness of Adelaide is to roll out a ultra-fast data network for Adelaide businesses. And we believe this is the type of infrastructure which is going to help Adelaide businesses become more competitive locally, nationally and globally. And it's so interesting in today's environment that you could really say with some confidence that medium-sized cities, like a city of 1.3 million, us, are actually cities which they've got enough scale to be competitive and provide opportunity and economic growth, but they can preserve their livability without becoming too congested. Like Lino, 22 minutes, 22, 22 and 22. I've got to work that out. I live about 22 feet away from Adelaide Town Hall, so it probably takes me 22 seconds to get to work. But, I mean, that's just a wonderful thing about Adelaide, that you can live relatively close to where you work, you can have a great sense of strong community, it's relatively easy to get around, it's a very safe city. These are all wonderful things, they're great. So my 22-second walk to work every morning, that's my exercise. But I'm sure you'll love it, I'm sure you're already loving it. But we want to make Adelaide livable, we want to make it strong social cohesion, which it's got, and it's something we're very proud of, and we want to make it more competitive, so there is more economic opportunity for everyone. And that medium-sized city, Adelaide, is the type of city in today's environment, with a bit of an international focus laid over the top of it, which is what we've got, because a lot of South Australian businesses trade with the world, is really important. And in so many ways, that is the place to be. To live in a city that has got great amenity, great sense of community, deeply livable, and I can find a wonderful job. So, and I know that our team will be chatting with you today from Adelaide City Council about some of the economic opportunities and the jobs pathways and what type of the industries are flourishing in the city. I know that my team will be doing that. And I'd just like to say though that, and also sporting culture, great sporting culture, all types. So it's we've got good sporting infrastructure, we've got our wonderful parklands, many ovals, so many sporting clubs. I can never keep up with the amount of sporting clubs. I'm always off talking to someone about their sporting code. But that's really important to us. Having an active, healthy lifestyle is really important. I think that's part of our DNA also. And in closing, as Lino shared in his diplomatic role when he was conferring new citizens, I share that great honour too as the Mayor of the city. About 4 or 5 times a year I have a great honour of conferring new citizens. And I must say, in my job, as I'm sure Lino's job, we do lots and lots of things. But I know Lino would agree with me on this. It is the greatest honour in my job to confer a new citizen into Australia. It really is. It's wonderful. You have a room full of smiling faces, and it's a great momentous milestone in that person, in that individual's kind of life. And it's wonderful. It's a great honour to do it. So everyone, welcome. I'm sure we'll see each other again, and congratulations and wonderful. Thank you for asking me to speak.